Welcome to Pixel Pickers, the podcast where we pick the pixels that pack a punch. I'm Jarvis.
And I'm Josh. So hey Jarvis, I've been
Hey,
think
Josh.
hey, how you doing? I've been thinking lately. So my wife has recently this year, she's got her first computer, you can see it back there, has gotten really into Marvel Rivals, which is funny for me because I'm a big comic book fan and she does not give a single shit about superheroes. She actually like turns her nose up at them a
Yeah,
little bit. But
which is
she
funny because she just likes ninja superheroes.
yeah, she just likes Naruto. But she's put like 300 hours into Marvel Rivals almost, something like that. And it's her
Yeah,
first
she's a little cracked.
she's a little cracked at it, very much so. And it's like her first big multiplayer game. And I'm watching her go through all those growing pains of really getting into your first multiplayer game to like from like the
Yeah.
the high highs to the like crash out lows that you kind of come with those.
Yeah, Lowe's unlike any other part of gaming, I would say, even.
Yeah, because it feels personal.
Does, and it very much is, especially when they call you by your name.
So kind of like, watching her kind of go through this journey has kind of like made me almost nostalgic for like my first like big multiplayer game that I was like really into. Not like, I played like Pokemon Stadium or I think I played GoldenEye once at a friend's house when I was young. I'm not counting those. I'm like talking about
Right.
the game like you put in like I put in like personally hundreds of hours. And I've got
Yeah.
my first one, it's not the one I have the most time in, but my first one that I got really into was Call of Duty 4.
Okay. I feel like that would be a lot of people's firsts around our age.
Yeah, so for me, like, when I first got my PS3, we didn't have Wi-Fi in the house. Like, my parents didn't know that internet could be wireless until I was like,
Yeah,
"Hey, I
same.
can't play this game I bought because I have to update my PS3." And they went, "What does that mean?" So I had to like plug into the router and update it, and I had like a little TV screen I brought in next to the router, and I updated it,
Yep.
and they're like, "Hey, when you're done, just plug everything back up." I said, "You got it, yeah, I'll do that." And I immediately, I've been playing COD 4 campaign basically on repeat because it was like the only game I had for PS3 back then, back in like
Yeah.
2007, 2008 ish. So I was like, I'm gonna try out this multiplayer thing. That tab that I can't go to in Call of Duty 4 that I see staring at me all the time.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I played for about 2 hours before someone noticed that the computer wasn't turned on. And I got in trouble. So I was like, okay, that's fair. But I was like, this
Yeah.
was fascinating me. People were talking to me, like other players were running around shooting guns and stuff. It was wild. And like I was leveling up. I was like, this is crazy. And I had never really
Yeah.
experienced something like that before. And then eventually I convinced my parents, like, yeah, we need to get Wi-Fi. It's the future. And I was right. I was right about that.
You were? Yeah, absolutely.
Because this before we
We
all
didn't
had
even have I
good.
I got out of high school without Wi-Fi, but I am a little bit older than you. So,
Yeah,
makes more sense.
you were
It's not
probably
like it didn't exist.
eh,
It's just access to it was limited.
yeah, you were probably like a junior when I think I was like going into freshman year of high school, something
Yeah.
like that. So you were probably like a junior, senior at that time. But
Yeah.
yeah, like because we didn't have smartphones back then, so like you didn't really think about needing
Right.
wireless. Why would I need wireless internet? Well, I could have played fucking Peace Walker online. That's why.
Yeah. One second.
Oh,
I'm going to shut this little window. It forgot that it was open because it was such a nice breezy day.
and then Virginia came in.
Yep, Virginia comes crashing in, says, "Hey, you live by the beach, fucker." There we go. Apologies.
You're good. So yeah, like and I was I'm thinking back to like, but like back onto like the like what I saw like seeing in my wife right now, like she's right now going through the low because Marvel Rivals is kind of in
Yeah.
a not great spot, like balance wise and like matchmaking wise for most people.
Ooh, fully disagree. Yeah,
For
I'm
most
I'm in a
people,
real good zone.
yeah.
I don't know that it's most people. I maybe it's most people in our friend group, but I feel like most people are kind of having a good time right now with a lot of the or not matchmaking but balance tweaks,
I
except for Phoenix because she's
it's
dominating.
more like It's more like I think the skill based max, the quick playness of it, of
Oh,
she's been checking. She's like, I'm getting matched up with like grandmaster players, and everybody on my team is like bronze 3. So
it's because she's playing too much.
that's what I
That's
said.
actually no, it is. It's a common feature, especially of Chinese and Japanese based MMO and PvP games, to start matching you up in more difficult ranks and stuff, so that not in a ranked or competitive match, obviously, but in quick play, so that you will get off and you will start seeing a string of losses as they match you lower and lower. Not even a like this is totally a thing. That is the game saying you are playing too much right now. You can actually typically exit, go out for 10 minutes, come back in, and your queue will be fixed.
Oh, hers is like perma bad. Every time she hits quick play, it's like the sweatiest people. But she's going through
Hmm?
that phase right now where it's just like her teammates aren't. She's like complaining about teammate stuff, like coming into the bedroom like angry. I'm like, baby, it felt so good, like vindicating to say this, but it's just a game.
Yeah.
Which is such an asshole thing to say, but it was funny. But like I remember going through that phase in like Call of Duty 4 back in the day, like when it was people like Juggernaut or Stopping Power with like M16s and AKs, just getting my shit pushed in. So I kind of what I'm getting to in the long run is like I wanted to ask you what was your first like real big multiplayer game? Not like a couch co-op, like not like and I don't mean like
Yeah.
GoldenEye split screen. I mean like logging on to the internet multiplayer game, maybe an arena shooter or something like that.
So
MMO if you're a nerd.
I'm not a big multiplayer guy at all. I only started playing multiplayer games literally around this time last year. Uh, but I do have one big exception, and that is just MMOs. A little bit of WoW, a lot of WoW, a little bit of Final Fantasy 14, and a little bit of Guild Wars 2. So my answer to that would probably, would inevitably be WoW. My initial exposure to multiplayer, is relatively much less sweaty, surprisingly, despite being WoW. Sweaty in a different way.
It's sweaty
Sweaty
depending
in
on how
the I haven't stood up in a little while way.
it's depending on how you play it. Like, and I know there are PvP and raids, especially like because you probably played during what the Burning Crusade era. I'm assuming.
I went all the way through Burning Crusade. I've went back a couple of times and I've tried, WoW Portable on the Steam Deck. That's a fun way to do it lately. Just, some quick mods and it makes it very controller handheld friendly and it becomes a very fun little Steam Deck game. But it doesn't appeal to me as much anymore. The reason that a game like Final Fantasy 14 pulled me in as much was because its story kicks ass and it has those really fun, boss fights with just running around in the bullet hells.
And
But back to
it's also
WoW
Final Fantasy
originally. Oh
music,
yeah.
but also it being
Yeah,
a Final.
Final Fantasy music. Well, I mean, that's not to say that Blizzard doesn't pull out the stops when it comes to, music, cinematics, presentation. It's just that the reason for everything, I could not give a shit less. Yes, there is like a good amount of lore for everything, but it is either bare bones basic fantasy or a very slight variation on that or some, really good hidden gems written by some very good writers, working at the company at different times. But those hidden gems aren't enough to really pull me through on the narrative of WoW. Multiplayer wise, like I had a pretty small guild and it was like all classmates. Or not classmates, but just high school mates. Again, I'm coming from a very small town. My town is, I think it's maybe at 200 people now, but it was probably at about 150 at the time. And we went to a regional high school
Jesus,
of three cities.
that's smaller than my graduating class.
Yeah, we went to a regional high school, Pine River High, class of '09. Yeah, old as hell. Uh, but you would like that pulling in all of those areas together would get you a class size of about 90 kids. So, yeah, very very small. But it's funny because it was, this big MMO, but still the guild that I was interacting with was people that I would see every day. So that was a very interesting aspect of the MMO side. That's not to say that I didn't play with, exclusively people I knew. Of course, that would be really peculiar, not like entirely weird, just odd.
More common nowadays,
Uh,
actually.
Nowadays, yes, I'm saying for WoW. Back in
Yeah.
the day, it'd be weird to form up a big old 50 guild of just people you knew, unless you're a big city and recruiting stuff. I don't know how that would work back
I
then.
mean, like, for me, like with back on Call of Duty 4, like, so I played on PS3, like I said earlier.
Yeah,
Let me tell you right now, the PS3 was not popular at the time of Call of Duty 4's release. This is before the Uncharted 2s and The Last of Us and all
yeah.
those like first party studio games that really made what we would call modern Sony, modern Sony.
Yeah, it
So
felt like a sellout from the really awesome PlayStation 2, and there was, nothing artsy or fun about it, and there was nothing cool about it either. It was weird.
yeah, so I was like the only person with a PS3. Everyone else had a 360, and this is, oh, the kids nowadays don't know it, but man, the days before crossplay, like I didn't play with anybody from my school because not many people had PS3s. It was wild. And the ones who did were all like the dudes who wanted to play fighting games, which sure, even though the 360 was better for fighting games back then, netcode wise,
Mhm.
all the netcode sucked. And then like the guys who only played JRPGs,
Yeah,
which
that
you
was mostly me.
yeah. So I didn't have anyone play COD 4, so I did play with strangers, and like, looking back on it,
Yeah.
there was I was in a clan. It was called Acid with an exclamation point for the I. Which did I want to join them because their name was very similar to Metal Gear Acid? Yes, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And but like there were some people in there that were like 30, and I was like 14. Like I have like two distinct memories of I was playing with this dude. I can't remember his full PlayStation name, not that I would say, but it was like New York and like a string of like NY and a string of like 10 or something numbers, right?
Yeah.
And him and I were just like
Just
online.
his fucking phone number.
Yeah,
He's an
probably,
actual moron.
probably. This dude, I mean, this dude was stupid. This dude was hella stupid because we were online, we were playing. I'm like, remember, like, I'm like 14, maybe verging into 15. Growing a young man. Reading Dear God Hates Me, Margaret. Uh, and he was talking to me, and he was like, "Yeah, so like when I was in high school," and I went, "When you were in high school? What do you mean when?" Because we never thought to ask each other ages because back then
Yeah.
all your mics sounded like dog shit, so you couldn't really tell someone's age unless it was like apparently you were like a very apparent squeaker.
Oh yeah, you have that 56K, or not 56K, that DSL compression on that audio coming
Oh
through nice and crisp.
yeah, very crackly. Uh, he was talking. He's like, yeah, back in high school. And I was like, what do you mean the fuck back in high school? I was like, he's like, how old are you? And I was like, dog, I'm like 14. And he's like, fuck, bro,
Yeah, me too, buddy.
I'm 23. And he was talking about in high school how he like just like failed his way through and he only passed because he cheated.
Oh god.
And I was
Yeah.
like, wow, man. But man, I was like I hate saying this because it sounds like back in my day shit, but man, back in the days, like, lobbies back then, that shit made you tough.
Yeah, there's something to just the expletive ridden language of that whole area where upon hearing it later in life, not firsthand, I was like, "Oh yeah, no way. I would have bailed on that shit. I don't
Oh,
need to
yeah.
hear that in my life.
I
I don't
mean,
need that negativity."
nowadays, when I start multiplayer games, it's so much different than what's where, like, I used to go on, like, I would open mic in lobbies, and I would just talk to people like a fucking
Yeah, yeah.
madman, like an
Which
insane
is
person.
common. I mean, a lot of odd people in our friend group will do that, and just a lot of people in general are good with open mic. No, thank you. I go into a multiplayer game now, which we'll get into how I'm into multiplayer games now, and and maybe in a little bit we'll see where the conversation goes. But I go to voice chat and I'm instant off.
Oh
I
yeah.
will maybe turn it on for a party, and then I will turn it on in a game where like voice chat or like very clear communication is key because I'm almost always rocking a controller. I can't type on a fucking controller. I hate it. We were talking about this the other night. I want the old Xbox 360
The little keyboard you plug into the
uh
controller.
yeah, the little keyboard you'd plug into the bottom of the controller. It was like I don't know if it was exclusively made for Final Fantasy 11, but I couldn't think of another
Well,
reason you would need
that
it.
wasn't on 360. That was a PS2 jam.
Final Fantasy 11 eventually came to 360.
No shot. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, yeah, because I looked into getting like a network cable thing and all of this good stuff, and yeah, it did not. None of it worked.
Classic. Because like nowadays, like you're saying, like going into a multiplayer game, like one of the first things I do before I even do the tutorial is I go to settings and find the VoIP section and I go
Yeah,
off,
off.
off. Like I on the
That's what
Steam Deck,
Discord is for.
I opened a rematch on the Steam Deck and I didn't realize that my Steam Deck was automatically miking me. And I joined a match and
Oh, does it do that? Oh, I probably had it changed in my settings. I didn't
yeah,
think about that.
I didn't think about it either. I was like, "Yep, just gonna go ahead and play." I start playing and like I'm playing rematch and some dude just makes a boneheaded fucking move and I'm like, "What are you doing, you fucking dumb bitch?" And I just saw my
You
name. I saw
ass.
my name pop up, and
Oh
so
no.
quickly was I like almost dropped my Steam Deck. I'm like hitting the start button. Like, how the fuck do I turn this off?
You broke like in half like Batman or Bane broke Batman.
Like
So good.
for someone with a podcast, like I don't want people on the internet hearing my voice. It's weird.
Yeah, no way. An anonymous person heard me, my worst fear and the only thing I want for financial stability.
Yeah, exactly. It was just such a I hate it. I don't know why. Like it's
Yeah, I
something
know,
that
I
happened when
totally
I got
agree.
older. Like I used to love getting into arguments online. Like somebody just
Yeah.
like usually I would never start them, but somebody was being a little asshole, or usually they were just being racist, and I was like, no, fuck you. And that's
Yeah,
usually when I
yeah.
would jump in. And I
You will
love
jump
talking
in
shit.
on a text chat if you see that. I will say, as someone that's played a few games with you
Oh
online.
yeah, I won't put up with that shit.
Yeah,
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 that shit's fucked. I won't deal with it. Um,
yeah. I typically don't engage in any way unless it's like just game way. Unless it's like actual like super bully, like no shit bullying or something like that. Then that's like an instant report and all that good stuff.
oh yeah,
You know.
reporting the fact that you can do that nowadays. That used to be just an MMO thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy to me coming from the MMO community that wouldn't be a thing, and I'm like, well, that's why it was such a shitty place. But also, I imagine that if they were kicking off everybody for using a homophobic or racial slur, back in the COD 4 days, that
Oh,
the player base would have just
it
died
would
out.
it would look like a blackout. It would have been
Yeah,
insane. I think every account at some point that had a mic would have been banned at some point. Also,
yeah,
our language was a bit different back then too. Like,
oh yeah,
w-
you
w-
could know some very, very nice, well-minded people that would say the worst fucking shit, like back in 2006,
I mean,
and that's just how a lot of people talked.
also it was just more common. Like
That's how
back then,
guys
it
talked.
was very common just to call something gay back then. I don't know if you
Oh
remember.
yeah,
Yeah, like that was just like you didn't
oh
even
I remember gay as a pejorative, and then I remember that Hillary Duff cured that when she came out on TV and said, "Don't say gay." Josh, she fixed the nation.
she did. Lizzie McGuire saved us.
I love Lizzie McGuire.
I also loved it growing up. Uh, but
Yeah.
uh, but now like I think like it's gotten a little out of hand. Especially with like what COD does. Like they have like voice chat
Oh yeah,
monitoring. I'm like,
it's
don't do
eerie.
that. Yeah, that's like a little too big brother for me. Like, look, especially if it's in like a private party. Like, look, if no one else can hear them, I don't give a fuck what they say. You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's insane.
Yeah,
To be,
and you can
especially not in a public channel.
yeah, and like getting a voice chat ban. I'm like, look, if no one like if someone reports them, yes, but let someone report them. Like,
So you're kind of a
especially,
tree falls in the forest in terms of the reporting and banning. That basically someone should be taking the effort to say, "Hey, that upset me. That was something I didn't like. I feel it should be reported." Not a overarching kind of censorship, especially like a AI or,
yeah,
you
like
know,
something listed,
automated monitoring.
especially things that can misconstrue things. Like, I can't type the word assistant or something to that effect, right? Not that I would ever type assistant. Like, there are some games
Yeah.
where you can't type the word assist. Where
Listen, my man, I've been trying to formulate a couple of jokes in my head for like 30 seconds. Viewers of the podcast on YouTube, which it's very fun to watch on YouTube, like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. You will see my eyes darting around as I navigate a minefield
yeah,
trying
I
to
see
come
you
up with a
looking
funny
for like
joke, but
words.
not. Yeah, and there's just none of it's worth it. It's the comedy of the mediocre joke that I will come out of nearly saying something terrible is not worth it. So I'm stepping back from that.
Yeah, it's like I don't remember what game I was playing, but like I typed in the word metal for like we are talking about like materials or something. I don't remember, but like the word metal guy bleeped, and I was like, why is this bleeped?
Why?
What in the world could this be like referring to?
I don't even know.
Like, I think like I
NET.
think it's a little too much control. Like, I just don't
Yes,
I don't think
it's odd.
they should be like big brothering people. That's my thing. Hey, don't say
Yeah,
racist, homophobic shit. That's like point blank
that's the
period.
number one thing.
That's point blank period. Like, the thing is, like, I believe the community will like can self correct that through reporting, especially with how
Yeah.
reporting is just so easy in games now. It's
Yeah,
not.
exactly.
It's not that.
I
It's
was able to, not a similar situation, but just a botting thing I saw last night. I was able to get killed, see my death on a bot cam, and report that and describe that within the entire time of my respawn.
yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I reported the other night we were playing Rivals. I reported a Punisher because I watched his kill cam and I was like, oh, he's very obviously botting because he
Yeah.
snapped 180 degrees to a target that he had
Yep.
no way of knowing was there after
I
shooting
think that
me.
was mine too.
Yeah,
See, mine was especially funny because it was also Rivals. It was also a Punisher. I was playing Phoenix, and I was perched way above him, and he went from shooting directly in front of him till that person died, and you just saw his camera snap to the sky. And I was
yeah,
like, "Oh yeah, there's
like
actually no way."
yeah, like you cannot move that fast, that straight of a line, and stop that accurately. I don't care if you have
Yeah.
max sensitivity with like the world's best mouse. It's not happening.
And guess what? He still fucking lost.
Oh, the Wire Punisher won because I think it was more than just him
Yeah.
botting. Like, they walked us, like, I would walk out and, like, I'm in the backfield and they're somehow lining, like, shots between 3 tanks and it's, like, pinging me
Gross.
as a healer in the back line. I'm like, "Okay, this feels gross." Weird that their teams
Welcome
all
to
hit
our
scanners.
rival Marvel Rivals podcast, where we describe the last 10 matches we had and how they extremely pissed us off.
Yeah, yeah, that's what multiplayer games do. That's part of the fun, though, is you get real heated and then you don't play it for
Yes.
6 months, and then you come back.
And that is the fun that I did not experience until recently. As I said earlier, with the nice little teaser trailer I gave to this story. Very exciting. So everyone get your popcorn, cover it up, and let's go to town in it. Okay. I just started playing League of Legends Wild Rift. That's
I'm
the
sorry.
mobile League of Legends. That's it. That's how it started. I don't know why. I think they had like some sort of ad or something that looked really good. I never actually played League of Legends. I think I downloaded it like 6 times on 6 different computers to be like maybe this time, and I'd always be like, nope, I don't. This is not a game that like a type of game that I like. But eventually, I got it on there and just all of the changes to it to include like making it feel more like a hero game of you controlling a single character and moving around, the lack of voice chat unless you're turning it on. Most everyone is just using pings for everything, so all chat and communication is actually pretty effective. And then overall it's just a fun game, and they make it a really quick MOBA. And I eventually got into like shitting on people and like dominating and having a really fun time like with win streaks and just like getting into it. And I was like, oh, wait, no, I get it. So then I started playing competitive and I was like, oh, it feels good to be better at something than other people.
Yeah,
Like I knew that in terms of like sports, cooking,
man.
driving,
Wait till you hear about this
racing.
crazy thing called esports.
Oh, go on, my man. I am totally enraptured. But it was just I was like, "Oh, I get it." Like it was never something that I sought out. Like I said, whether it was from scarcity of internet access denying me from being able to really play those games,
Well,
or
you
I mean I could have went over to friends' houses to do it. We could have done split screen and then gone online. But also I didn't want to because I didn't
didn't
think
see
it
the
would be
appeal.
fun to. Yeah, I think the entire community was just little negative Josh Adamses down in Georgia shitting on me, and I'd be like, "No, I don't want to hear this."
Oh no, like
And
I was also very anti multiplayer. I'm like I don't see it. I'm like
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like because I know PS1 to PS2 and then my first batch of PS3 games. I was like never touched online. Like I didn't. I was like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't see the appeal. Like it's like you don't have like the structure and like the set pieces, and I didn't get it because I had never experienced it. And then when I did, especially at that like nice like all that testosterone from puberty's really hitting me at the time. I was like,
Yeah.
I can be better than someone. Like, man, I was out there. I was like, I played so much of the game. I was the dude who was like running around like with a 20 kill streak, only no scoping and making people
Yeah.
so angry. I was that kid back then. Oh, it was gross.
Yeah, I got into like a no joke pretty wild period about 2 years ago with that stupid fucking mobile League of Legends game where in my off time it was pretty much all I was doing. And it was fun. I was having a good time. I was also getting very very pissy
With League of
eventually as
Legends.
it started to like as I like crept out of, the low elo, low rank stuff and I was like in diamond and I was like, "Oh, wait a sec. Now like
As you,
people are semi competent
as
here."
you
I'm
start
like,
playing with people
"Ah."
who also play League on the computer, who have like
Yeah,
that prior
exactly.
experience. I've tried League a couple times. I've tried multiple
I
MOBAs. There's only been
I
one.
highly recommend it on the phone. Like no joke, it is a entirely different experience because you have direct control of the character. It feels so different in that way.
I mean, I've tried multiple MOBAs. Like I tried League. The first time I played League though, like I kind of got set up to fail. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I was like 20 something. League had been out for a while. Like I knew about it, but I saw it and I was like, doesn't look like my cup of tea. And then somebody like made me download when I was like 22 or something, and they're a person with like 1,000 hours in it, and it's like a decade ago now. Jesus, man, League's been around for a while.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so I got into it and like I think I played like 10 hours of League, which is nothing for a League player, but if I played 10 hours of your game and it's 10 hours of me getting my shit absolutely pushed all 10 hours and just like not being able to put anything together. If I have to watch a YouTube video on like how to play your game, I'm not playing your game. That's just like
Yeah, so and that's exactly what I'm saying about like a no joke. I highly recommend League of Legends Wild Rift. It is a better version of that game. Well, it is more simplified and faster version of that game with a very very healthy dosage of the fun. It just obviously it doesn't have a 45-minute match.
yeah, that's also
Like
thing
if
like
that's what you're looking for.
yeah, I played 10 hours. I probably played maybe 11 matches,
Yeah, right around there.
which is like
You could have also got some short ones in
oh
there.
no,
There are
there was
those
some
ones as well.
there was a prop. I probably played more. There was some where I just got walked. It was me just like
Yeah.
staring at like the screen, like I get to my buying phase. I'm like trying to read things. People are like, "What are you fucking doing?" I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what to
Yeah.
buy." Like
Josh, keep going, sorry.
what? I'm
Well,
just
no, 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 keep going.
so like
I was just gonna say, we don't get a lot of opportunities to really talk about, like, multiplayer games or MOBAs and stuff, and I would just really like to talk about them.
okay, yeah,
Did you ever try ARAM in League?
I couldn't tell you. I think I played
No, no, so it's not a
I-
person. So
oh
ARAM stands for all random, all middle, and that is where everyone that doesn't like League finds out that League is a fun game. So all random refers to all of the people on your team get a random choice. And, there are systems in place to like draft characters. So like, oh, I got this character, I fucking suck at him. I'll throw him into the draft pool. I got like two other characters or so that I can choose from. They change it and rebalance it every season. And then all middle means that it is just one lane across the entire game.
So it's effectively
League of
deathmatch.
Legends. Yeah, so League of Legends, for those that don't know, you got a little team of champions, and you're marching a bunch of little minions into a nexus on the other side of the match. The other team is trying to do the same exact thing, and then in between that, you have some towers that will be shooting those minions, and you destroy the towers. You try to kill the enemy minions. You try to kill the enemy. You try to get your minions all the way to the other side. Boom, that's the end of the game. Now, sometimes in real big boy League of Legends, this is a fucking hour-long endeavor. Sometimes in the fun version of League of Legends, it's 3 minutes long. So that's kind of where you're sitting with that. But ARAM, it's all middle, so it's just one lane as opposed to 3 lanes
That
and a
that
jungle.
that might not have existed when I played. It might have, it might not have. I only played the standard
Yeah.
mode because again, this is literally almost 10 years ago. It's about
Yeah,
9
and you
years.
were doing exactly what somebody else wanted you to do at the time. They were like, come
Y-
play with me to do this thing.
Yep. And
Yeah.
after like 10 hours, like I look, if I play any more of this game, I'm actually going to fucking kill myself. Not a joke.
And
It was also a dark time in
yeah.
my life because like that was
Yeah.
for your perspective. That's about the time I was in power school, like
That's a rough
towards
time,
like the
y'all.
last half. So I was already having a rough time, and I was like, "This game is making me want to die." But I can't remember who I played. I can't remember his name. He was a black guy. Uh,
Lucian.
yes, is that the only black guy? You came out so
I
quick with
don't.
it, so quick
he's
with
he's the
it.
most notable black guy, but he's not like the only black guy. He's the only black guy I can think of right now.
Yeah, because "Who's fun?" They're like, try this guy. He's fun, I think." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And yeah, he looked cool, and like
Yeah, no,
his
he's very
moves,
fun.
like their moves look cool. But I was like, man,
He's
any
also super complex.
yeah, that didn't know that, but like because you also got like
Yeah,
it's like knowing their
exactly.
move set and then knowing the gear to buy. I'm like, this is it's
Yeah,
it's too many steps. It's too many
yeah.
steps.
They
Like, can I tell you
there's
what
so
my
many
favorite
things.
multiplayer
Yeah, no,
game of
go
like
ahead.
all time kind of is? And the
Yeah.
fans of this series are going to hate me, but it's the one I have the most time in. Unreal Tournament 3
Oh, yeah.
is my favorite multiplayer game of all time, mainly because like the memories I have of it, and that was my first Unreal game, and I played it on PS3, and that game had crossplay with PC,
Which is
and
wild for
which
the
is
time.
while and you could mod it on the PlayStation 3 if you just had a USB stick,
Oh,
and
I didn't know
it
that.
was supported. So like me and
Oh,
my buddy would play. We like that's I probably have over 1,000 hours in that game. Uh,
it's wild.
it's the worst Unreal Tournament game by far. Now that I've gone and played the other ones,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
still Unreal
like
Tournament, but so it's really good. So like
yeah,
that's what like
exactly. I was
when
gonna
I
say
play
it's still
multi.
like a B plus
Yeah, it's you're
of
comparing it
all
to
time.
like
A B plus,
yeah, it's no Quake 3, but it's still really fucking good.
exactly.
Like that's the type of multiplayer game. Like I'm like, look, you can take out all the
Yeah,
frills. Like I think Halo got worse when Reach came out and they added armor abilities. That's why
yeah, just more and more.
I'm like I'm like for me like if I can't even create a class, good. I don't want to create a class. I love in level weapon pickups. I love map knowledge, and that's what I like. I don't I like it's just like it's did I get there first? Did I play this right? And can I out skill or outmaneuver my opponent?
See, and I think like the just initial knowledge base of the thing that you didn't like of like not knowing how to play or not knowing what to gear up with is truly covered now, literally just by like click recommended set. Like, and no joke, like they want you to have fun. They don't want you to have to go search out these things and check out a tier list unless you want to. And I'm again specifically talking about the games that I've had experience with. I've also I played some other mobile MOBAs and a good amount of Smite and Smite 2. I'm in the beta for that. Nothing has ever really clicked with me quite as well as League of Legends Wild Rift.
Yeah, like I've
But
tried Smite. I played the DC one,
I
which
didn't
was
play the DC one surprisingly. That
it's got
was
you,
that
you
was
can't
well
now.
outside of my period.
Like I
Yeah.
played it because of like the character roster because it was before
Yeah.
multiverses were cool in the mainstream. It was a multiverse game, so
Yeah.
like it was like you can be Batman from Gotham by Gaslight and shit like that. And I was like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, easy, yeah, I'm gonna try this out. And I played it for a while. I'm like, yep, it's a MOBA. It's
It was Infinite Crisis, right? I'm trying to Google it.
yeah, something like that. I think it was just the
I think
straight
so.
lifted from the comics, the name.
Yeah. Yep. Infinite Crisis. Yeah. Yep.
I tried that. I think I tried Paragon back in the day, the third
Oh
person
wow.
one.
Hey Josh, real quick, do you know how long that game was online?
Uh, 2 years.
uh, what's March to August? Is that 6 months?
No
No, that's not.
shot.
y- Yeah, March. That's yeah, March 26, 2015, August 14th, 2015.
Ooh,
I
yeah,
mean,
I played it like around when it came
that's
out.
not a that's not a Concord death, but that's a pretty quick death.
That's especially then. Like nothing's gonna be a
You
Concord death. Nothing
you
ever
could play a
again.
Starro?
Yeah, it had a crazy character
That's
selection.
cool. I guess
I never
technically
tried Heroes of
Marathon
the.
might be a faster death now.
Yeah, 'cause technically
Kill that
it
alpha.
had an alpha that thousands of people played, and like there's footage of.
It feels weird. Now I have that PT experience
Yeah.
of
Oh
I
yeah.
played something that a lot of other people might not get to play, and
Yeah.
that's just
I did.
weird.
I have the PT experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not get the PT experience.
Oh,
I
I
missed
was
out.
like E3 happened and I immediately sprinted to my PS4 that day. I was at Tokyo Game Show. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
think it was E3. I can't remember. I ran like straight to my PS4 for that one and was like so excited and I finally beat it because like the enormous
It was not
appear.
easy.
It was not easy. It was like that was like when like like people. It's kind of like how Miyazaki
Mm.
talks about how he wants like the Elden Ring and Souls like games to be, where it's like the water cooler moments, where it's like on the playground talking to your friends, like, yeah, you can get Luigi in
Yeah.
Super Mario 64 by doing this, this, and this, and like that's what PT
This is how
was.
you see Mario's penis.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like they had an uncle at Nintendo, except your uncle was
Yeah.
Kojima, and it was like the whole internet trying to figure this out. And
Yeah, and he
there
was
was
showing
like,
you his penis.
yeah, it was like you have to realize you have to scream into the microphone. Like the game won't let you progress until you get scared. Which,
It's
granted,
so good.
happened really early for me. Like I don't get jump
Yeah.
scared really easy. That game has some fucking good ones.
I get jump scared very easily. I don't get actually scared very easily. I would say, like, I don't feel like a dread or anything. I
Oh,
actually start to feel comfort at like a creepy thing. But a jump scare
we
will
watch too much
nearly.
horror stuff. That's why
Yeah,
we're horror
exactly.
kids, so we have way too much
We're
experience
horror
with it.
broken.
Yeah,
We're broken horrors.
broken
Hey,
horrors.
maybe that could be a new name for this.
Broken. That's our
Broken horrors.
that's our
Broken horrors is really good.
that's really good. That's our horror podcast name. Come check it out.
Yeah. Broken horrors. All right.
Write that down. Write that
Maybe we
down.
should cut this. Yeah.
All right.
TM.
Video games are done. We're over them.
Yeah. We're on horror movies now, bitch.
Uh, fuck.
David Cronenberg, I love you.
I
Shigeru
lost.
Miyamoto, eat my whole butt.
Yeah, you've never done anything. I forgot what we were talking about now. MOBAs? We were talking about
Uh,
MOBAs in
we're
general?
well, we were talking about PT, and
Oh,
to progress, you had to get scared, and you didn't know that you had to get scared, and that game made you scared early, and then we talked about being scared. But I
yeah.
think you were about to talk about how PT made you scared.
Oh, so there's a scene. So I don't know if you haven't seen PT, it's literally Kojima's first walking simulator, except you're walking down an endless repeating hallway, and weird
Yeah,
shit
it's
just
the
starts
worst type
happening.
of walking simulator.
Yeah, and weird shit just happening. Like you're hearing radio, like news broadcasts of like a murder, suicide, and all types of creepy shit. And it's like the room's very dimly lit, and you're hearing
Yeah.
noises. Like you find a fetus in a sink. It's kind of crazy. Man, obsessed with fetuses. He is scared of fetuses. I
I'm
think.
that is full David Lynch, I
Yeah,
feel. It's gotta
100%.
be.
It's
Like, he loves it.
that boy saw a racer head once. And he's like, "Yep, that's me.
Yep.
I love
That's it.
this."
I did it. Found it.
Uh, But there's a scene where, like, above the hallway, you can, like, look up and there's, like, a banister, like, railing where it's, like, there's an upstairs that you can't get to, and there's just this tall, creepy lady in a dress that kinda just walks by. Was no sound cue, no music or
Yeah,
sting or anything. I just, like, happened to look up and saw her walking, and I went,
yeah.
"Fuck!" And just, like,
A legit jump scare.
'cause it
Just
was
so
'cause
good.
yeah, it's, like those, Haunting of Hill House jump scares where it's just a face in the background,
Exactly.
where it will scare the
Like,
shit out of you if you're paying attention.
ugh.
Yeah, 'cause a
I
couple of
was just
those
going
got
through
me.
pictures that I saw the lady that we were talking about, and it was just eerie that she was the first thing that came up.
Yeah, she's quite
uh, I
quite
I
scary.
I will probably put a link to a playthrough of PT. So the other thing with PT was a Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro got together in order to do a really cool Konami and Kojima Pro production coming together to make a Silent Hill game. And this was a playable teaser for that. That's why it was called PT, and it got put on the PlayStation Store. And then the big fallout with Hideo Kojima and Konami, that is like way too hard to talk about in even a short
That's a
way.
full, like, retrospective episode. You can Google that. Like,
Yeah,
there's hours of content that you can
exactly.
find on that. Like, I've read basically books about that. I can't wait for that man's
So,
tell-all book.
yeah, so unfortunately with the cancellation of it was going to be called Silent Hills, PT got removed from the PlayStation Store, but there are some people that still had it downloaded onto the PlayStation 4s. So there was a fun little thing where people were literally selling or pretending to be selling PlayStation 4s with PT on it, and
Like,
obviously
$1,000.
Silent Hill fans. Yeah, there were Kojima and Silent Hill fans and Guillermo del Toro fans and horror fans all coming together, and that's a lot of fan bases with a lot of disposable income. So the
What
prices on those went really high.
you know what's crazy is I had PT for years. Like, even
Yeah,
after it got removed, I kept that shit downloaded somehow. Like, I just
yeah,
forgot to delete it somehow. And I noticed it was
yeah.
still there. I was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm keeping this PS4 forever, and this will always have PT on it." That PS4 died a year later,
Died.
and I was like, "Can I
Sucks.
recover the hard?" I like, I sent in to PlayStation Fix, like, "Can you recover the hard drive at all?" They're like, "Nope, can't
Yeah,
do that." I'm like, "You can though. You can just like take it out, or you know." They're like, "Nope, can't
right.
do that." And I was like, "Well, but PT's on there." They're like, "Nope, can't do that." I'm like, "I'll go fucking kill myself." Then I'm
That
sorry,
sucks.
but
And the other thing that I like about it is I think it's very clearly influenced by the Mark Z. Danielewski book that every pretentious person reads in college, every pretentious semi horror fan, even if you like it a little bit. And that's House of Leaves.
oh, I hated
And I
House of
think it has a
Leaves.
lot, so much fun. I like it a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But
I don't like pretension, and that shit felt, like,
uh,
way too
I
pretentious.
I think the pretentious parts are just playing at being pretentious. You are literally meant to skip through a lot of it, and I think that's part of the fun of it. The best parts of the book are definitely like the really straightforward. I am either describing like one of the video segments, or it's like the journal of the brother that went into the labyrinth. Love
Yeah.
that book. Very fun book.
I didn't like it. It felt
Um.
like it was like, "Look how different I am." But anyway, multiplayer games.
Anyways, yeah. I wanted to say one last thing about PT, and I forgot what it was really quick. I don't
It
think
you
I'm
can
gonna
f
get
that you
back
can
to it.
feel the Guillermo del Toro all over it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
it, and you absolutely can, and you can in Death Stranding as well.
yeah, if you
I will put in a link for a walkthrough of PT. I happen to like the Game Grumps one because they get really screamy and scary, and it's a very scary game. But I will also maybe find a silent walkthrough of
yeah, I
PT,
would
and I'll
find a
put them both in our
non-commentary one.
description.
That way you can get the
Yeah,
vibe. It
I'll put them both in there.
horror games stop being a vibe, and, they become a different vibe when it's someone else playing, or if it's multiple
Yeah, a
people
very
playing.
fun vibe.
It starts becoming funny, and I think if
Yeah.
you wanna, like, I think a PT demo, like, if the run player knows what they're doing, is maybe a 10-minute video, maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, yeah. So I think I'll shop around. I'm sure it won't take. It's been out for over 10 years now. I'm sure a very precursory Google search will get me a good
Yeah,
list of videos.
but back to actually, I'll make that my recommendation
Mumbles.
this week. Back to,
PT.
multiplayer games, you mentioned no, something related, but no. Uh
Oh, okay.
There is, something you mentioned earlier because we were talking about how we don't like voice chat in games anymore. And look,
Yes.
I just want to give out the flowers to I think one of the most revolutionary mechanics that has been added into multiplayer, first person, third
I
person shooter video
Before you even
games.
say it, I agree.
You already know what I'm gonna say?
Yep, I already know what you're gonna say. I absolutely agree.
Revolutionary mechanic in multiplayer video games that I believe was brought into first person shooting and third person shooting by a little game called Apex Legends, where it first started popping off, and then
Could be.
Fortnite and stuff started including it, and now like every
Yeah.
game has it, and that's the fucking ping system.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's just the ping system is the best thing to ever be added to a video game. It's so simple. It's a look fucking
Mhm.
here button that like most like CRPGs that had multiplayer had back in the day, even if it didn't, like
Yeah.
RuneScape had a ping button.
Yep.
But
Because that's the most simple thing. That is the most base communication. Pointing with your finger. Give me a way to point with my finger in a video game.
it's fabulous. Sorry, I was muted for a second.
Oh,
It
okay, I
is
was very confused. I was like, I didn't feel like I dropped a bombshell, but maybe I did.
no, I was muted while I adjusted myself in my seat because my all the cracklies in the seat be loud.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Uh, but yeah, man, because it enabled me as a not wanting to talk to strangers online because all those ads as a kid really worked on me, but as an adult, not as a child,
Yeah.
just enabled me to literally live my best hermit life. Like if I didn't have a wife or this podcast, I could go days without talking to people and exclusively play multiplayer games.
Fair.
That and there's
Yeah.
nothing better than a passive aggressive ping.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
hits
Just
better
to
than
be
a
like,
passive aggressive ping.
here, idiot.
Or or like when you play Rocket League or me playing rematch now, like somebody fucks up and you say, "Nice shot,"
Nice shot.
or like somebody lets a goal in a rematch, you go, "Good job."
Thanks.
Love, oh, it
Um,
tickles me so good.
the on ping systems that I like, speaking again of mobile games, I actually play it like mobile. I don't have it emulated on my computer, which is totally fine if that's what you like. Not everybody likes playing with their thumbs, but since they have a map in the corner of the League of Legends one, all you have to do for the pings is they have all of the pings like attack here, retreat, all that good stuff lined up to the side. Then you just put your thumb and drag to the map and it boom right there. And just to have it up at all times is so nice. And this is like literally something that should just be a basic feature in any sort of
Any
multiplayer
game,
game with an actual map. Oh yeah, any game with a
any
map.
game. Let me put
Any
markers
game.
down. Games that have maps that
Let
don't let you
me
put
drop
markers down,
markers.
go fuck yourself. I
But
hate
like
that shit.
actual markers too. Like I also don't like when I can only put down markers that are it's just a dot.
Yeah,
I love a game with like a descriptive or like a
that Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the
Tears
Wild,
of the Kingdom
the
exactly. That is
best
right where my
marking.
mind was
Yeah,
going.
the best marking system ever fucking
Yeah,
made. It's like I
it's
have a boss
perfect.
here. Like the fact that I can't do that in Elden Ring, shameful. No, I'm not writing it down in a
Shameful.
notebook. Go fuck yourself. Like games like, I think survival horror
Just
games,
carry marking stones with
like
you.
I think survival horror games, yes, that's like part of the tension is not like having to remember. But if it's like
Well,
a
why is it okay there but not in the Elden Ring game where it
because
is part of
it's
the
not a
tension?
massive open world. Like the mansion in Resident Evil is like 30 rooms. Elden Ring,
Yeah,
it
and
takes you an hour and a half to run across the map.
and somehow it maintains tension in that massive open world because of that system.
No, it just means
Nah, you choose what you want.
I just drop quest lines.
Yeah. What's a quest line?
They exist apparently in those games. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I can get to
you gotta
Radon.
talk to everyone 7 times.
Yeah, why am I doing this? This is bullshit. Anywho, but yeah, is there anything else you want to say about multiplayer games? Because like, man, there's a lot. Like,
Uh,
I think we could go back again and
I
talk about
like them
like,
now.
yeah, it's funny how like tastes
That's what I want
change.
to say.
Yeah, taste changing later
Yeah.
in life is crazy. I don't think mine have changed that much. I
I
still play all the same types of games.
Yeah, I for the most part I play mostly single player games, mostly action RPGs. That pretty much covers me. Then my slight step outside of that is now like multiplayer PvP games, and my even slighter step, kind of in the same direction though, is I'm playing MOBAs, and that's new for me. But I don't know. I still like a racing game every now and again. Obviously, I still play fighting games. We are guys that like a lot of varied genres, but
Yeah,
I don't think there's anything that
I mean,
I've introduced later in life that did not play earlier.
I mean,
Neither of us really play a lot of
yeah,
strategies.
like I play some. Like I think my biggest strategy games, like I can't play Civilization games, not because I don't like them, because they're unhealthy for me. I've never played those
Oh yeah,
online, but like
you're too addicted.
I will get addicted to it, and I will just sit here for like 18 hours straight and play a marathon game in one sitting. I don't get.
Yeah,
I'm like
yeah,
can't.
that's not for me.
Yeah, so I can't do those games anymore, and I don't. And like I'm not gonna learn like Stellaris or anything. And it's just, like too much learning. Too much. I don't want to learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning in those strat games, which, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's awesome. I think that's actually a really semi-healthy way to play video games, is something that's actually engaging to you. It's just that some people take it way too far.
Oh yeah. Oh, 100%. Like, all right, this is gonna be the last thing before we move on to our recommendations. But I just want to tell you about there is a I don't know if it's completed, but there's a mod project for all the 4X strategy games that take you through chronologically through all the years. So like you start in like
Oh,
whatever like the oldest game is. It might be like Europa Universalis or something, or no, it's probably a oh fuck, Crusader Kings. I think it starts with Crusader Kings, and then you
yeah,
move into Europa. Like you carry your save over somehow, and like they modify the save so that it will give you a starting point equivalent to where you ended in like timeline wise in Crusader Kings. Then that
that's pretty neat.
moves you into Hearts of Iron 4, which is like a World War II era, and then it goes like all the way up into Stellaris. So you can have the same campaign all the way through, and it would only take you about 400 hours to actually play it all the way through.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That is less than the length of some people's individual games, but
I mean, I don't know. I don't know like the exact time. We had a guy on the boat that
I
was like
know, I'm
really
just
into
messing.
it. Like those games can go forever. But yeah, so I think we've been going on pretty long about multiplayer games. I think we should come back to this topic later because
Yeah,
it's
absolutely. This is, I mean, especially with us kind of coming back to multiplayer games in general ourselves. It's obviously a rich vein for us.
yeah.
At least for now.
Oh yeah, 100%. But for now, we're gonna move into our weekly recommendations. So, if you haven't listened to the podcast before, every week, Jarvis and I like to bring you a non-video game recommendation. It might be tangentially connected to video games sometimes because we like to cheat, but mostly it's a non-video game recommendation. This could be a book, a movie, music.
Mine is a muck this week.
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't catch that. Uh,
Um,
Something like that. So this week, since we were talking about PT, I was gonna recommend something else, but I feel like this is more on brand for what we're talking about. If you want to get the vibe
yeah.
of what PT felt like, especially like for its horror scenes, there is a movie by Guillermo del Toro. I can't remember if he directs it or just is like a producer on it. And it's
Hmm.
a Spanish film called The Orphanage
That is a production by him, but yeah,
production,
that's a great one.
but it like the blue filter and like some of the dark scenes in that movie feel very much like PT, and it's about this woman whose child goes missing at some point, and it's about her being haunted by ghosts, and it's all in Spanish, like Spain Spanish, so you have to read subtitles, and it is a really good movie, and it is one of the most heartbreaking movies ever made, in my opinion. Just for especially
Yeah.
at its ending is heartbreaking, but it's got
Yeah,
that.
surprising. The Guillermo del Toro produced Orphanage ghost story movie is heartbreaking, folks.
Oh, yeah, I mean most of
Spoilers.
the stuff he touches has a little bit of heartbreak in it.
Yeah, like I think possibly everything, if you get really sappy about Pacific Rim.
Oh, I was gonna say if you just if you got like if you get heartbreak from seeing how bad Crimson Peaks was.
I like Crimson Peak because
I did not
that's
like
in
that
a.
movie.
I know. Hey, listeners, this is why Josh didn't like it. It's an erotic thriller. Josh, it is not his vibe in the slightest. I don't know if you have an erotic thriller that you would like, knowing you and your film catalog.
I love Alien.
I mean, okay, there's one. The everyone likes that one. That's like saying you like 50 Shades of Grey. Those are the two erotic thrillers that everyone in the world has nothing bad to say about.
Also depends, how lax are we with the definition of erotic thriller?
I
Because,
mean,
Jodie Foster in
I
Silence of the Lambs, she's pretty
no,
pretty. She's pretty. That's a thriller.
it is not an erotic movie.
I mean, maybe you don't wanna put the lotion on the skin, but some of us do, okay?
Alright, goodbye horses.
Goodbye, horses. I'm stopping this song now, so we don't get
Yeah, don't sue
copyrighted.
me.
I also can't get my voice that high. If I went any
Yeah, it's
louder with that, I would sound like puberty.
Uh, Josh, I'm desperately this is the first week that I think I've come like wholly unprepared. I have like enjoyed stuff in the last week. But I'm just trying to think what I would recommend as like the biggest pop out in my last week of, media consumption.
It doesn't have to be in the
It's
last week.
sad.
Like, I did not watch The Orphanage last week. It's just a movie I've seen that I
That
know is
is
good.
fair.
Like, I have recommendations like in the back of my brain, just so like I have consumed a lot of things in my life.
Yeah,
So there,
that's fair. I didn't consider just, tossing out any sort of recommendation. That's a good one.
yeah,
Let's go with I'm just gonna honestly, let me go into my media library and hit random real quick and we'll get something good.
for a guy, if you
We're
steal one of my
gonna
future recommendations, I'll be so angry, so
if I come
angry.
up with what?
One of the recommendations I'm like banking for later.
Oh, probably not. I am recommending Evil Dead 2013. Hey, that
Great
is a
flick,
good
good
recommendation.
flick.
Yeah, that is probably
It's an
I
on
would
brand
say it
recommendation
is.
too.
Yeah, it is. I did go into horror. I will say it was not that eerie that it popped up with that. I decided to go, with that.
Just to match my
Uh
theme.
exactly. So, Evil Dead 2013 remake of Sam Raimi's Evil Dead movie. If you're a horror fan, you absolutely know what it is. You've definitely seen both of these movies. If you are not a horror fan, I recommend possibly starting with Evil Dead 2013, just because it is flashy and pretty and fun. But if you want to get real fun, just go back and watch Evil Dead 2, Dead by Dawn, and start there. But Evil Dead 2 is the very fun remake of that film that basically takes place in a cabin in the woods in which a young girl named Mia is going through an intervention from her brother
Gift.
and some, family members, loving family, or not family members, loving friends at this cabin. Now, of course, they find a book of the dead in the cabin and they read from the book, and some bad stuff happens. And if you know anything about Evil Dead, but you haven't seen it, you know that there's maybe some zombie stuff, maybe a lot of gore, maybe some limbs come off. What's really fun for fans of the original three Evil Dead films is that this film contains a lot of shot for shot references, but not in a like really gross kind of haggy way of just like, hey, look, Sam Raimi, I can do what you do.
Not like the Psycho
Like
remake, you know?
exactly. I have like the Psycho remake is so weird to me because it is so perfectly shot for shot that I don't
It's
understand why it
it
exists.
almost makes it creepier, but not in a good way.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. But also the way that Vince Vaughn acts in that movie is way different from the way that Norman Mailer acted back in the day.
On, don't go
Or
too
not
off
no.
topic. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's for our second
Hey, you did that
podcast.
to me.
That's for stupid
Yeah.
horrors or whatever it was.
No, we already messed it up. It wasn't. Was it Stupid
I don't
Horrors?
remember. Dumb horrors
Yeah,
or
it was good.
something.
Well, yeah, we'll go back through. Uh, but yeah, bad stuff happens. There's zombies. There's gore. The fun stuff is the way that they are doing these like throwbacks and references is they will skew it a little bit, maybe change up what type of character this happens to, how something else happens, and it is fucking gory.
Yeah,
It is a very fun
let's go
time.
ahead and give a trigger warning for this one because
Everything.
everything, like, I don't care what your like trigger is, This movie will
In
probably
terms
hit
of
it.
bodily harm,
Yeah,
everything.
bodily harm. There
Yes.
is a very, very gnarly scene with a nail gun.
Yes.
That
And
is,
there's yeah.
ooh, like I feel that one every time I see it. I don't even like that's like
Uh
I don't get grossed out by things, but I like that's when I go, oh no.
Also, I mean, the one I'm big on spoilers. I don't like getting them. So I'm going to spoil something about the movie, specifically with a death. But this movie is over 12 years old, and I feel like this is something that I am fine with getting spoiled for me at the very beginning of any movie. Yes, the dog does die.
Yeah. But
There's a
also,
very cute dog named Grandpa, and he dies, and yes, it's sad.
well, that's just a horror movie thing. Any supernatural horror movie thing, the
Yes,
dog dies. Like, I'm gonna go and break it to you, the dog
not
dies.
Not anymore. That's a thing. Is people aren't killing the dogs and cats as much anymore because they know that there's a portion of folks that will literally stop watching the movies or will not watch them in the first place. I
I mean,
mean, it's just not common in the last 5 years.
yeah, last 5 years. So, like, did the dog like in I Am Legend? Did the dog survive at the end? I know the ending's very
Oh
different from
yeah.
the book.
Oh yeah.
The dog gets away with the girl,
In
right?
in
No, the
both of
dog.
the
No, no, no,
endings.
no. It doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Well,
He kills it.
yeah, because there's multiple endings for the movie.
No, and that's not in the ending. That's like at the midway point because it gets bit. And
Oh,
I am
does
like,
it? I don't know.
yeah,
But anyways, that movie's even older than this
yeah,
one
yeah,
that
yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah.
talking about.
But
Like,
anyway, yeah. So dog dies. Dog's gonna die in a horror movie
dog
most
does die.
likely. Sub recommendation for under Evil. If you like Evil Dead 2013, go to HBO Max right after that. Watch Evil Dead Rise. That shit also slapped.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like a tonal sequel.
Yeah, if you like, also if you're a big fan of practical effects, and if you're a horror fan, you've seen these. I would assume if you're a practical effects fan,
Yeah, yeah.
just some of the, especially the newest ones, some of the practical effects. I'm like, I don't know how you did that because that person is acting still, and they should be dead. It's like
Yeah,
one of
there's
those
some wild
cannibal
stuff.
holocausts. Like we need to put the director on trial and prove that these actors are still alive.
Yeah, I mean, I will say like Fede Alvarez's stuff, like between this, Don't Breathe, and then Alien Romulus, and I think there's something else, but I can't remember what it was. But he likes practical effects.
He does.
He does like to so.
I should rewatch Romulus.
Oh, yeah, I had the wife watch it, and it was enjoyed for what it was, which is she does not like watching anything really horror-y, but there's a lot of really good stuff in it.
Yeah. So, wow, Jarvis, we actually managed to not do a super duper long one today. I'm proud of us. We
Yeah,
went in
that's
saying we've
crazy.
been doing our episodes have been like an hour 40. We've been going too long. Look at us. We're at like an hour 3 minutes or something like that.
Let's talk about that for about 40 minutes.
Yeah, let's expound on that. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's open up the therapy.
I don't. Let's just be quiet about it for 40 minutes.
But so that's gonna be it for us for today. Programming note for the episode to follow this one. You might not, here's a spoiler, you might notice something. We're gonna be wearing the same exact clothes. And that's not
That's
because we're
because
just
we don't wash.
it's not because of that, or because we just decided to do that again after we washed our clothes like good people. We're actually double recording today because I'll be out of town next week. So
Woo!
don't freak out when I look the same. And if any breaking news like Sony buys Microsoft or some bullshit like that happens, and the next week
Donkey Kong kills Mario after
yeah,
his game is better.
yeah, something like that happens, and we don't react to it at all next week, well, the reason is I wasn't here, and
Josh is
it's the
dead to
same.
the
It's the
world.
same day. Yeah, I'll be camping, and I've never been camping before, and I'm not very excited for it at all. But I'm doing it.
No, he's gonna hate it.
I'm gonna hate it, but I'm going.
But that's what the thing is.
Life
You're not doing it
experiences.
for you. Yep. You're doing it for everyone around you and to prove that you will actually hate it. Because how will you know unless you do it?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of introspection and self meditation, just like knowing yourself.
Yeah, there are
Like,
certain
I
things
spent
that
a
I can
lot of
say
time
I'd be
knowing
pretty sure I
myself in my
wouldn't want to do.
teenage years, so, like, I think I know all my do's and don'ts now.
Yeah, I know I don't like banana flavored things. I know
I don't either.
probably, yeah, I probably would not end up sawing off my leg if I was in a Saw movie.
Oh
I'd
yeah,
probably just
no,
die in the room.
I
I
would just
know that
die.
about myself.
I would just die. I'd be like, hey,
Yeah.
can we cut the crap? And you just fucking
It's not
pow.
it's not
Like,
worth it. I'm gonna remember this every night for the rest of my life,
yeah,
even after I get all like, everything. No, I'm
I'm
done. Bye.
physically and
Whatever.
emotionally scarred. Go fuck yourself because I was rude or a bad person.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it was a shitty doctor.
yeah, like go fuck yourself.
Fuck off.
Yeah, so not excited for that. But if you want to see that next episode, we're actually going to be trying something a little different next episode, where
Yeah.
the podcast might end forever after it, depending on how it goes. We're going to be playing a little game.
Oh, I think the podcast will survive. The friendship won't.
The business arrangement will, the friendship will not. Contracts must
Exactly.
be obligated to. Uh,
Exactly.
we're playing a little game called Devil's Advocate, where each of us are going to bring our favorite game of all time, and the other person, no matter if they like the game or not, has to take a staunch opposition to it and explain why it's
Yeah.
actually the worst game.
Should
And
be a good time.
it should be a good time. We might not get through both our games. It might be one of us goes first, and then we argue for an hour,
Yeah.
which could be fun. We can
This
bank
is
it. We
true.
can bank one because you've given me 3 games, and I don't know which one you're gonna pick. And some of them are a lot harder to defend to be against than the others.
Yeah, exactly.
I think mine will be quite easy for him to completely rag on.
Yeah, just with age, honestly.
Yeah, but that's gonna be it for us. Jarvis, do you have any final closing thoughts you want to throw out there? Other than
No,
obviously do the normal like, comment, subscribe. Give Jarvis ten
nothing
dollars.
else for this week. Hey, yeah, I'll put my Venmo in there, my Cash App. I'll put it all. Send me $10 on every dap.
Yeah, anything other that you want to throw out?
No, sir. I think that it'll do us. So just remember, it's dangerous to go alone. Take us. Bye.
Bye.